modules. So usually 6 chapters are treated as enough. પછી એમાં એવા માર્ક્સ તો નથી મળતા કે થીસિસ ની સાઈઝ પ્રમાણે તો કઈ હોતા નથી કે ભાઈ આટલી મોટી હશે તો વધારે માર્ક્સ મળશે અને આટલી પાતળી હશે તો એવું નથી. So 6-7 chapter generally they are felt enough for the research. Then these are the premier research institute of India. Now we have come to the conclusion after the writing of thesis. So I have promised that 1 hour will finish. इसके बाद भी अभी है, अगर आप चाहेंगे तो थोड़ा सा और डिस्कस करेंगे. अगर वो साहब ने बोल दिया मना कर दिए. देखिए थीसिस का नहीं है, इसका दूसरा है. So research an opportunity, not the compulsion. This is the main conclusion from today's lecture. It is an opportunity. We have to grab the opportunity to complete certain new things in our life. અને જો કે મેં PhD કરેલી છે એટલે તમને કહું છું એવું નથી. But if you are in academic field, whether you are in diploma or in degree college, it doesn't matter. You must complete it. જો તમે academic field માં રહેવાના છો, આપણને એવું લાગે છે કે ડિપ્લોમા કોઈ જરૂર નથી, પણ પોતાના ઇમ્પ્રુવમેન્ટ માટે રિસર્ચ જરૂર છે. હવે GTU માં હું જ્યારે DPC મેમ્બર છું તો ઘણા બધા ફેકલ્ટી ડિપ્લોમાના પણ છે જે PhD કરી રહ્યા છે even at the age of 50 years. So it is an opportunity, not the compulsion. It is true, but we will have to keep involved in the subject. Subject ની knowledge જોડે તમને છેક સુધી રાખશે. જ્યાં સુધી તમે 58 years ના થતો ત્યાં સુધી તમને સબ્જેક્ટના ટચમાં રાખશે. That is the advantage of research. હવે આપણે શેર માર્કેટના ટચમાં રહેવું તો જરૂરી નથી. ક્વેશ્ચન માર્ક તો છે જ કે in which touch we need what type of touch in this subject touch. એમાં કરી શકાય. And need of time and personal benefits. And personal benefits, as we know that that's a professional, right? So this is all about today's lecture. Thanks. If you have any questions, we will discuss 5 minutes more. 5 મિનિટ મારા પાસે છે. અદરવાઇઝ આના પછી મારા પાસે જે લેક્ચરનું જે હતું ને એ પણ એક પોર્શન છે. Managing stress in daily life, where very quickly 7 tenets of action. That is also available. अगर कोई दिवस आपने मजबूत है तो आप डिस्कस करिए. That part I have covered, but anyway due to paucity of time हमें अभी obviously पूरी करवानी है. અને કદાચ તમે લોકો બોર પડતી. This is there which how we manage the stress. It is half an hour lecture. Okay, thank you. If you have any questions. So any questions? મારો મેલ આઈડી એકચ્યુઅલી મેં બિગનિંગ માં લખ્યું છે તો તમને કોઈ પણ અધરવાઇઝ દર્શક પાસે છે. If you need any help, અને અગેન હું તમને કહું છું કે મેં 3 PhD IIT રૂડકીમાં ગાઈડ કરી છે, 2 PhD અત્યારે GTU માં કરી છે, પણ આ લેક્ચર જે છે ને હું પહેલી વખત ભણાવું છું રિસર્ચ મેથોડોલોજી. એ લેક્ચરમાં કોઈ દિવસ ભણાવ્યો નથી. રિસર્ચમાં ઘણી કરાઈ છે. હવે એ તમે કેવી રીતે બિયર કર્યો છે મને ખબર નથી, પણ આ લેક્ચર મેં પહેલી વખત ડિલિવર કર્યો છે. અને આ લેક્ચર પણ વિથ ડ્યુ એક્નોલેજ એ લેક્ચર મારો નથી, મેં નથી બનાવ્યો. એક તમને દાખલો ખાલી કહું છું, 2 મિનિટમાં પછી પૂરું કરું છું. એક IIT ના પ્રોફેસર હતા અને દરેક કોન્ફરન્સમાં એક લેક્ચર આપવા જતા હતા અને એમનો ડ્રાઈવર જ્યારે ડ્રાઈવ કરતો હતો અને સર જે છે એ લેપટોપ ઉપર લેક્ચર તો જોયા રાખે, સેમ લેક્ચર દરેક જગ્યાએ આપે પણ વેન્યુ અલગ અલગ હોય. તો ડ્રાઈવર કહે કે સર તમે સેમ લેક્ચર આપો છો તો એ લેક્ચર તો હું આપી દઉં, કેમ કે હવે એટલા વખતથી જોઈને મને ખ્યાલ આવી ગયો તમે શું આપો. Right? Anyway, that professor agreed. હવે પૂરું થઈ ગયું. So that professor agreed કે ચલો તમે હવે નેક્સ્ટ મારો અહીંયા લેક્ચર છે ને તમે આપજો. So he started like delivering the lecture through PowerPoint. કે PowerPoint માંથી બોલવાનું છે, એ લખેલું છે એ બોલવાનું છે, અને ચાલુ કરી દીધું. બધું આખી 40-50 સ્લાઇડ પૂરી થઈ ગઈ. એન્ડમાં પછી એક પાર્ટિસિપન્ટે ક્વેશ્ચન પૂછ્યું. હવે ક્વેશ્ચન તો એને ખબર ન હોય કેમ કે એ તો પ્રેઝન્ટેશન હોતા નથી. હવે મેં વિચારવા પડી ગયા ડ્રાઈવર તો એ કહે કે ઇટ ઇઝ અ વેરી ગુડ ક્વેશ્ચન, ઇવન માય ડ્રાઈવર કેન આન્સર. એ મને પ્રોફેસર પાછળ બેઠા હતા, એમને એનો આન્સર આપ્યો. So with all due respect, this lecture has not been prepared by me, but delivered by me.
Okay, so I request Professor Chitran Vyas sir to say a few words about this session.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. And as we got to see, the post-lunch sessions are generally drowsy in a sense, but this time around, we were all awake during the session, and all thanks to your way of delivering the lecture, sir. Although it was not prepared by you, but just delivered by you, still you didn't make us feel like that. So that's a very good part of it. And more so, sir, જ્યારે પોતાના અનુભવો અને પ્રેક્ટિકલ વસ્તુઓથી જ્યારે વાત કરી, IIT રૂડકીના PhD scholars એ પણ ગાઈડ કર્યા છે, as well as he is guiding the scholars of GTU. So what I got to observe is he was not looking at the research scholars from the background of university, and that's a very good thing about sir. અને જેટલું lucid way માં સમજાયું, તો જ્યારે સર સમજાવતા ત્યારે મને એમ થાતું હતું કે ડીપીસી મેમ્બર્સ એ જો આવા આપણને મળી જાય, જેને ખબર હોય કે આ જિંદગી છે એ બહુ ક્ષણિક છે અને આ જીવનમાં આપણે ઘણું બધું કરવાનું છે, મોટિવેટેડ રહેવાનું છે અને હેપીલી જે કંઈ કામ કરીએ છીએ એ કરવાનું છે. And at the end of the day, we are humans and not the robots, or we are not derived from AI in a sense. We are humans. So we have got the emotions and everything running around in our head throughout the day. And since I got to know that being a DPC member, he has got also the same feeling that જે રિસર્ચર્સ છે એને એવું જરૂરી નથી કે બધું આખું વિશ્વનું જ્ઞાન હોય અને જ્ઞાનનો ભંડાર લઈને જ આવતો હોય રિસર્ચર. રિસર્ચર એટલે જ બન્યો છે કે એ અજ્ઞાન છે એટલે જ્ઞાન મળ્યું. So that's a very good thing about you, sir. You made it look very lucid and easy, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you, sir.
Dr. Anil, sir.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you.
DPC member ની એમને વાત કરી ને તો એડ કરો. Actually DRC જે DQT DRC કમિટી હોય તેમાં પણ હું મેમ્બર છું અને ઘણી વખત એવી એપ્લિકેશન આવે છે કે મારા DPC મેમ્બર ચેન્જ કરવાનું છે. એ અમે એપ્રૂવ પણ કરીએ છીએ અને એમાં કમેન્ટ્સ ગાઈડ જ્યારે એમાં ફોન કરીને પૂછીએ કે ભાઈ તમે આ DPC મેમ્બરને કેમ ચેન્જ કરવા માંગો છો, તો એ ગાઈડ એવું કહે છે કે ભાઈ આ કેન્ડિડેટ એવું કહે છે કે જો આ DPC મેમ્બર લાગે તો મારે PhD કરવી છે. This is the truth, sir. આ DPC DRC મીટિંગ માં થયું કે નામ તો નથી દેતો, પછી ચેન્જ કરવા પડે મને અને એ ચોઈસ આપે કે આ બેમાંથી મને જો એક આ DPC માં મળશે તો હું PhD કરીશ. એટલે કે અમારે જોઈને એમાંથી એક પેપર એના નથી કરવું પડે.
એક વસ્તુ કહી દઉં, બરાબર? અમારે એક સર હતા, એને એમ કીધું હતું કે ગમે ઈ ભૂલ થાય અથવા કંઈ ન આવડતું હોય તો એમ કહો આઈ વિલ ડુ ઇન માય નેક્સ્ટ ડીપીસી. પછી ડીપીસી પૂરી થઈ જાય પછી આઈ વિલ ડુ ઇન માય ઓપન સેમિનાર. ઓપન સેમિનાર પૂરો થઈ જાય પછી ફાઇનલ વાઇવા માં આઈ વિલ ડુ ઇન માય નેક્સ્ટ PhD.
આપણે હમણાં કન્ટિન્યુએશનમાં નેક્સ્ટ લેક્ચર સ્ટાર્ટ કરી દઈએ છે. હા એટલે 5 મિનિટ બ્રેક કેક સવારનું પેલું મોમેન્ટ આપવાનો રહી ગયો છે રાણા સર. સો આઈ રિક્વેસ્ટ અનિલ નાવલે સર ટુ ગીવ અ મોમેન્ટ ટુ અવર ફર્સ્ટ સ્પીકર ડોક્ટર ભાવેશ રાણા સર.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all for patience.
Thank you, sir.
હવે 5 મિનિટની બ્રેક. 5 મિનિટ પ્લીઝ તરત આવી જજો. આપણે સ્ટાર્ટ કરીએ સર અહીંયા આવી જશે.
हमारे वहाँ तो रास्ता पूरा ब्लॉक થઈ ગયા. કારા તો મને બી બહુ પસંદ છે.
જોવાની કઈ વાત ચાલુ રાખો ભાઈ અહીંયા આગળની સીટ ભરી દેજો પાછળની આગળની પ્રિન્સિપલ સર આવશે ને પહેલા એ જ કહેશે એટલે પહેલાથી જગ્યા ઓક્યુપાઈ કરી દેજો હા હા પાછળ હા અહીંયા ખાલી છે અહીંયા સર
ખાલી એક કલાક
આવું કહી દઉં છું ખાલી એટલે પછી કોઈ ના
એટલે કોઈ બેઠા
ના કોઈ નથી બેઠા
સર
ખાલી દોઢ કલાક કાઢો
ભલે આવી
ખાલી માટે દોઢ કલાક આવી ના ના પેલા અહીંયા કોઈ નથી હજી આ ખાલી છે
સાયલેન્ટ મોડ માં વાઇબ્રેટ મેં
એસી ને બંધ कर दो
એસી So welcome once again everyone for the last session of the day 4, and we have a speaker, Dr. Sachin Parikh sir, who is going to talk about the green hydrogen research and framework navigating the spectrum of hydrogen production technology. So first I request our honorable principal, Dr. S.R. Joshi sir, to welcome our speaker, Dr. Sachin Parikh sir, Joint Director, Commissioner of Technical Education, Gandhi. Welcome, sir. I again invite our honorable principal, sir, to introduce our today's speaker, Dr. Sachin Parikh sir.
I hope I am audible to last. It's a moment of pleasure and happiness that we are hosting today our joint director. Everyone knows him, right? By the post, by the name. We had very old association, so I requested that, sir, if possible, come down. See, I know that he is very busy, but still he likes to deliver sessions like this, and he has accepted and he has spared his valuable time. See, to come down from all the way from Gandhinagar, it's not that easy, right? But he has accepted invitation and he has came here for all of us. So we are very happy and we are very much obliged and thankful to him for coming here. Sir, thank you very much. Dr. Sachin Parikh is a senior academician, as we all know, administrator and researcher in chemical engineering, with more than 25 years of experience in teaching, research and technical education, governance. He is currently serving as Joint Director of Technical Education, Gandhinagar, overseeing the establishment and accounts of multiple degree engineering colleges, diploma polytechnics and pharmacy institutions across the state. He holds a PhD in chemical engineering and has more than 11 years of experience as a professor, having successfully guided 10 PhD scholars with additional candidates currently pursuing doctoral research. Dr. Parikh has held several key leadership and statutory positions, including Chairman of IST Gujarat Division, IICHE, that is Institution of International Chemical Engineering, Ahmedabad Regional Center, Senate member and Dean at GTU, and Chairman and member of multiple boards of studies at leading universities. His contributions extend to national level committees, accreditation, environmental auditing, academic councils and selection panels, as well as roles as an independent director in industry. A prolific researcher and innovator, Dr. Parikh has secured major research grants from state agencies, holds multiple patents, and has published extensively in high impact international journals in the areas of biodiesel, wastewater treatment, catalysis, green solvents, energy systems, and process intensification. He is also the author of scholarly books and book chapters. In addition, he is a sought after speaker who has delivered numerous invited and plenary lectures and has organized large academic events, conventions, and training programs at state and national levels. Overall, Dr. Parikh is widely recognized for his leadership in technical education, impactful research, industry academia collaboration, and sustained contributions to innovation, sustainability, and capacity building in engineering education. Sir, I warmly welcome you as a head of institute. Over to you, sir.
तो माइक की जरूरत नहीं लगती. As sir has mentioned, and you all know very well, I am looking after the establishment of our technical education, and it is a very peculiar and typical kind of job. So whenever I get the opportunity to interact with the staff members in a technical terms, and with the staff members and students, I always grab the opportunity, take the opportunity. So I'm thankful to Joshi sir and team of organizing team of this particular FDP for giving me this opportunity to interact with you. Friends, today is a very auspicious day. Today, before 400 years, on this same date, Galileo invented the one of the Mars 60,000 kilometers away, right? And others different moons and other things on this same day using the telescope. So he was one of the researchers in the physics area, and our topic is mainly related with research methodology and technical writing. So before switching over to green hydrogen, I would like to give you two different examples through which I would like to try to give you some idea, some importance about what exactly the importance of research in academics. Now, when we are talking about the academics, we have to become a good teacher, we have to become a good researcher, we have to also motivate and guide students for innovation and startup, as well as we have to do some kind of administration job of department and college, right? So we have to make some kind of equilibrium in all these four different areas, and this is also research is also a very important areas, because based on this you feel yourself content and you feel yourself satisfied that you have done something, right? So why this research is important, and if not only research, not only for doing the sake of research, but if we do the research for the benefit of industry, for the benefit of society, or the benefit of mankind, how it will be affecting overall humankind and the history of the mankind. So one example I would like to, this is a very interesting example, I would like to mention is of the case during World War II, which you are all aware that during World War II there were all European countries which were leading in technology, as well as USA was also leading in technology, and they were extensively using the different types of codes. And there is a beautiful movie on this code, A Beautiful Mind, right? Some Morse code and Enigma machine which was developed by Germany, etc. So when after the World War I, America, USA realized that we have to give support to the technological development. And when the European countries and USA think about the technological development, they think about the academic institutions and universities. It is not like in our cases, they only think about IITs and other big organizations, but all the different universities, etc., they focus on that when they look after the enhancement in research and development. So, at the time of World War II, there was a commission, World War II Office of Scientific Research and Development, which was established by US government, and they allotted fund of 450 million rupees for the development, R&D development in weapon technology and other technological advancement. અત્યારે બંધ કરી દેશો તો ચાલશે. For the technological advancement, and they invited this, different universities for giving the proposals and giving the ideas. Like તમે જ્યારે કોઈ પણ DSP છે કે ગુજકોસ છે તો એ લોકો they invite the proposals for different universities or different staff members. So in such a way that they invited MIT, the leading universities or institute, Caltech, Harvard, Columbia, Stanford, etc. What happened that the total amount of 450 millions, so while scrutinizing and everything, every university sent their best professors with the proposals. Like તમારી institute કે department માંથી તમને કહે કે તમારે કોઈ proposal લઈને જવાનું છે research grant માટે કે some other purpose. So MIT got out of 450 million, MIT got 117 million, Caltech got 83 million, Harvard and Columbia got 30 millions, Stanford, એનું જે representation હતું, it was done by Professor Frederick Terman, and Professor Frederick Terman received only grant of $50,000. Remaining all got huge amount of money in terms of millions. And it was specifically told to this Professor Frederick Terman of Stanford University, that આ grant છે એ તમારે only and only for the purpose of teachers training use કરવાની છે, not for any other purpose, no research, no development. So it was a humiliating experience for him. So he came back to the university, and at that time whosoever was the chancellor, vice chancellor, or director, so he had a meeting and he was very much frustrated. But he was, a person who thought that whatever the difficulty which is arised, I have to take that advantage from this difficult situation. Right? He wanted to prove himself and he wanted to show that government, federal government, that Stanford University is not another, is also having a good background and resources. So what they thought is they used this fund $50,000 for the teachers training, and they gave training to the teacher in such a way that whatever the research they carry out in association with the students, whether it is a master students or PhD students, it finally aims at getting some industrial products. કોઈ પણ research એવું નહીં લેવાનું કે જેમાં just for the sake of research હોય કે એનું જે thesis બને ને આપણે કબાટમાં મૂકી દઈએ, not like that. એ research નો ઉપયોગ 100% કોઈ industrial product development માં અથવા તો product હોય તો એના upgradation માં જ થવો જોઈએ, અને એ પ્રકારની એકદમ સ્ટ્રોંગ માઇન્ડમાં ઇન્ફ્લુઅન્સ બધા જ ટીચરને કરી દીધી. અને what is the outcome? The outcome is he is considered, the Frederick Terman is considered as a father of Silicon Valley, and he encouraged his students William Hewlett and David Packard to start a company જેને આપણે famously known as HP, right? He was dean of engineering and then become provost of Stanford University. And which are the various, multinational giants came out from Stanford University research lab, not only HP but Yahoo, Excite, Google, Netscape, Silicon Graphica, NetGravity, Sun, Logitech, Cisco, Granite, etc. to name a few, right? So what I am trying to tell you is, whatever the students you are guiding, it may be you may be a faculty of diploma college, or you may be a faculty of degree college. You have a students, undergraduate students, postgraduate students, or you are guiding PhD students. Your topic should be such that it should be helpful to the industry, or it should be in such a way that those students can in future start their own business of the research which you have carried out in the laboratory. So this is one of the example. Second example is professor of chemical engineering of MIT. So what he decided, Robert Langer, he was about to get the Nobel Prize, but because of some issues he could not get the Nobel Prize. He was completed his undergraduate from Cornell University. He joined MIT as an assistant professor in 1978. 1978 થી જ્યાં સુધી એ retired થયા ત્યાં સુધી he has written over 102,050 articles. Out of this 1,250 articles, he received 1,050 patents. Throughout his professional life, he has got 1,050 patents. આપણામાંથી ડબલ ડિજિટમાં પણ પેટન્ટ્સ મારી પોતાની છે એ લગભગ 7-8 માં જ આગળ નથી વધતી, right? So he received 1,050 patents worldwide. અને આ જે પેટન્ટ્સ છે એમાંથી out of this 1,050 patents, 250 pharmaceutical, chemical, biotechnology and medical device companies came out. Out of this 1,050 patents, more than 250 different companies of different kind of companies like pharma, chemical, medical devices, biotechnology company came out. So why I am saying this is, whatever, say for example you are guiding the students for innovations or startup, you should guide in such a way that they should be able to get absorbed in the market, or they are, they can start the product and then my product get immediately accepted in the market. Currently there are 4 or 5 areas which are considered as an area where you can guide your students in such a way that they get some opportunities, immediate opportunities in the market. Obviously, number 1 is related with artificial intelligence and machine learning, but it is related only with the ICT fields. What about the core areas and other fields? So for that, there is what we call it as a space technology. There is a tremendous opportunities in the space markets, right? And there are upstreams, downstreams, so many areas where students get the opportunities for mechanical, chemical, electrical, IC. Obviously, computer students are there. The third area is related with the green hydrogen, which is one of the most promising area. And as far as Gujarat students coming out from engineering diploma colleges of Gujarat, this area is very, very promising. And fortunately, central government has given some kind of mandate or some kind of roadmap. Say by 2030 or by 2035, the aim is to produce this much amount of green hydrogen, or we have to reach to the space application with this much amount of overall growth. Quantum computing also, they have given some kind of a mandate and provided some 6,000 crore rupees, and some centers are also being established. So that is the advantage, that government is also having a very positive support for the students or for the engineering and technology students. So out of these 3 or 4 areas, since I am having a chemical engineering background, I have selected this green hydrogen technology. I made the presentation in such a way that it would be interesting also for the faculty of computer and IT and EC faculties. And other than chemical faculties also, it would be interesting, and some or other way there is applications for every faculty members other than chemical engineering. Right? So I begin my presentation. Please start. Okay. So the topic is from gray to green, navigating the spectrum of hydrogen production technologies. Hydrogen is, the component is same, but how it is being manufactured, the source or the process based on the resources or the raw material and the process, it is either called as a gray or green hydrogen. And the solution, the challenges, I've taken the what are the challenges and what is the solutions. So this is my flow of presentation. So what exactly, the hydrogen and what is its importance? The hydrogen is emerging as a cornerstone of the global clean energy transition, and there are, as I said, multiple methods of producing the hydrogen, and we have to, somehow integrate this technology. We have to consider the policy of government, sustainability to define the future hydrogen landscape. And actually, today's hydrogen production is dominated by fossil fuel production, but we are slowly and steadily switching from fossil fuel to the other areas, other resources, and we are slowly shifting from grey to green hydrogen in a gradual and system-driven transformations. So, journey of hydrogen is not about choosing a color, but about enabling a responsible transition. So there are various methods of getting or producing the hydrogen. Mainly there are two resources through which you get the hydrogen. One is, as I said, fossil fuel, and second is renewable resources. So fossil fuels, there are hydrocarbon reforming and hydrocarbon pyrolysis. We will study each and every in little detail. And the renewable sources are biomass processes and water splitting, and there are again subcategories are also there. So first let us focus on the conventional method or the existing method of fossil based pathways. To begin with, number one or the most popular is steam reforming process. So in this steam reforming process, જેને આપણે chemistry ભણેલા જ હશું. So this particular, this reaction actually takes place where hydrocarbon, water and heat is combined and you get hydrogen plus carbon monoxide. This carbon monoxide reacts with water and gives you finally hydrogen again plus carbon dioxide. So here you require temperature in this reactor, you require a temperature of around 500 to 1000 degrees centigrade, which is a very high temperature. તમને ખ્યાલ હશે exothermic reaction, endothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction means you require heat from outside, and exothermic means heat gets involved from the system itself. So, what are the pros and cons of this? The advantage is you from this steam reforming you get hydrogen with a good purity, commercially mature, but the disadvantage is you require so much of energy from outside, and there is a formation of coke, which is difficult to remove it from the system. The second is partial oxidation process, where oxygen, not sufficient amount of oxygen is passed to come in contact with hydrocarbon. So the reaction which is taking place is hydrocarbon plus not full oxygen but half oxygen. You get hydrogen, carbon dioxide, along with heat is generated. So it's an exothermic reaction. And again also from carbon monoxide and water you get hydrogen and carbon dioxide. So the this particular steam reforming is exothermic reaction. Temperature is 500 to 900 degrees centigrade. The advantage is whatever the heavier hydrocarbons are there, and the capital cost is less compared to steam reforming. But disadvantage is it produces comparatively less amount of hydrogen. So here hydrogen production is also mentioned. In the last slide also I mentioned about the hydrogen, amount of hydrogen which is being produced. So this is the more amount of hydrogen produced by steam reforming compared to partial oxidation process. The third one is autothermal reforming, which is a combination of partial oxidation and steam reforming. So here the system, when you are combining two systems together, it is the disadvantage is it is more complex process, but the advantage is you get prevention of coking and efficient production takes place, and you get good number of hydrogen. The third is dry reforming. In this dry reforming, hydrocarbon is passed through carbon dioxide and heat, which is endothermic reaction. High temperature is required, and the advantage is it is having carbon dioxide, whatever the spent best carbon dioxide is there, it is being utilized, and the disadvantage is you get a lower amount of hydrogen leak, and there is a formation of coke, as well as it is an endothermic process. Fourth one is pyrolysis. Pyrolysis means you are burning it at very high temperature, right? So pyrolysis is generally taking place at 1200 degree, more than 1200 degrees centigrade, and if it is a catalytic, then temperature requirement would be less. So here this is an endothermic process, and the advantage is variety of feedstock can be used for producing hydrogen, and you get multiple products. But at the same time, disadvantage is it produces large amount of tars and low amount of hydrogen. So these are the comparison of different types of hydrogen production using fossil fuels. Fossil fuels means whatever the crude is there which is being processed, and from that hydrocarbon whatever you get, that you are passing it through oxygen or steam or some high temperature, you get hydrogen by using these different methods. So this is a comparative of different steam reforming, partial oxidation, oxidative steam autothermal, dry reforming, and pyrolysis. Now the second part is biohydrogen, that is biological based pathways, where we are using microorganisms, where the carbohydrate is formed. This carbohydrate, when it comes in contact with microorganisms, microorganism considered it as one of its food, and it decomposes into some glucose and hydrogen and waters and carbon dioxide, etc. But what is the disadvantage compared to, or what are the limitations of this biohydrogen compared to the hydrogen produced by fossil fuels? And this technique is very much environmental friendly, right? No production of no byproduct carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide, right? But what is why this technique is not being so much viable?
Industrial scale application.
Exactly.
Less amount of
Slow reaction as well as commercially it is not viable. You require large amount of when you are investment 1,000 rupees, for example, you are expecting that 1,000 rupees to be returned in a shortest period of time, right? So by using fossil fuels, you get 1,000 rupees back, say for example, in say 10 days. When you are using bio sources, you get this 1,000 rupees back almost after 50 days. So obviously, people or the industrialist would prefer to use fossil fuel in place of this biological based pathways. So there are two again subcategories that there: fermentation and biophotolysis. Fermentations again, photofermentation, dark fermentation, and again direct and indirect photolysis. So fermentations, you are aware about what exactly the meaning of fermentation is, and there are two methods as I mentioned. Dark fermentation means the fermentation or the broken down of substrate is taking place in absence of light, and these are the advantages, disadvantages. Photofermentation means in presence of sunlight or any other artificial light, you are carrying out the metabolic reaction to take place, and you are using a system, a typical kind of bacteria, that is the photosynthesis bacteria, purple or non-sulfur bacteria. So since I'm sure nobody is having biological background, so I'm not going in depth about this method. But one of the other reason why I am giving you such kind of presentation is you can also collaborate in your college or institute or other departments and carrying out some, multi kind of research together. Okay. Now the next method is thermochemical based pathways, and this is one of the most promising methods. And in fact, I am personally also getting involved. I'm also involved into research of. I'm doing research along with my group in using thermochemical based hydrogen production methods. So in this method, what we are doing is basically we are treating the biomass. So biomass is basically mainly the sugar cane, whatever the residue of the sugar cane, and that we are treating with some kind of chemicals. And these are the four methods through which you can get the hydrogen. First is combustion. Whatever the biomass is there, your combustion takes place at more than 800 degrees centigrade, and you generate only heat and power. In this particular case, you won't get hydrogen, but this heat and power will be utilized, right? This will be utilized for the production of hydrogen by three different methods, that is gasification, pyrolysis and liquefaction. So gasification temperature is around 600 to 1300 degrees centigrade. You are using biomass with carbon dioxide. Gasification takes place. You get fuel gas. You further treat it or further, separate it. You get finally the hydrogen. Right? Previously, તમે શું use કરતા હતા? Fossil fuel. Fossil fuel ની જગ્યાએ તમે use કરો છો biomass. Right? The second is again pyrolysis, where temperature is around 200 to 900 degrees centigrade. You carry out the process and finally you get power, liquid biofuels, this CH4 and other components and hydrogen. Liquefaction is being carried out at low temperature, but pressure, high pressure તમે નાખો કે જેને લીધે biomass માંથી all liquid components came out, and this liquid components, if you process it further, you get the hydrogen. So this is the merit and demerits of thermochemical ways of hydrogen production. This is also area where I am also doing some kind of research work. What we call it as a water splitting based pathways, and Reliance Industry is coming in a very big way using these methods. So what they are doing is right now is they are installing huge megawatt, gigawatt power sun roof across some areas of Kutch, and whatever the power generated by solar, so those power will be shifted to Jamnagar for the manufacturing of hydrogen using this electrochemical method. So what is this water splitting methods? Water splitting methods are divided into three parts. First is electrolysis, which is a major part. Second is thermolysis, and third is photolysis. So what exactly takes place? તમે લોકોએ આ ઇલેક્ટ્રોલાઇઝર્સ ને બધું કદાચ છે, મતલબ કોમ્પ્યુટર આઈટી ફિલ્ડ ના છે ને 12th સ્ટાન્ડર્ડ માં કે ફર્સ્ટ યર એન્જિનિયરિંગ માં ભણેલું હશે. So it's a very interesting phenomena. One side is left side is anode, right side is cathode, where one side the oxidation reaction takes place, right side reduction takes place, and in between some kind of electrode material is being used, which is filled with some electrolyte liquid. So અહીંયા શું થાય છે, what exactly happening over here is you are say this is your water. So here reaction takes place at the cathode in with electron, so you get hydrogen and you get this OH minus. Now this electrode or electrode like material is such that it will pass only OH minus from right side to left side. It does not permit hydrogen to pass from right side to left side. I again repeat, here what happens, at this passing the electricity to the water, and with using electricity you get electron and you get hydrogen plus OH minus. So this hydrogen you are removing, and this OH minus is there, you are shifting it from right side to left side, because it does not allow or permit electrode to pass the hydrogen from right side to left side. So on left side, this OH minus gets this reaction takes place. It will be converted into a 2H2O plus oxygen. So you get more amount of this water, whatever is there, you are separating out and using it again for the production of hydrogen. So this is, a very promising technology, and so much of research work is going on for finding out some good, reliable and efficient electrode material and electrolyte solutions. So at present, what is the advantage of this? The advantage is only this requires temperature of 60 to 80 degrees centigrade. Lower water quality is required. You don't require a very pure water. Efficiency is 65 to 70%. Cost is very less. Scalability is also comparatively quite good. commercially mature, and you can use it for large scale industries. The second is proton exchange membrane. Again, the phenomena is same. In this particular alkaline, only OH minus is permitted to transfer from right side to left side, whereas in proton exchange, only H plus minus is permitted from left side to right side, and this reduction and oxidation reaction takes place at anode and cathode respectively. So you get you use the temperature is around 50 to 80 degree, good efficiency of 60 to 70 percentage. Platinum group little bit costly as I mentioned, because you are using platinum. Platinum material metal itself is costly. Scalability is high, commercially maturity is very high. You can use it, it's a portable device, so you can take it from one place to another place. And the most important thing here is the disadvantage is you require very high purity of water, unlike this alkaline system. The third is anion exchange membrane, where, as I mentioned, OH minus will be shifted from right side to left side, and this kind of same reaction takes place. Industrially, it is having a good potential availability. This is also solid oxide electrolyzer cell. I will keep this presentation here. You can take it if you require, or you wanted to share it with your students. You can do it. The second category is thermochemical cycle, where there are different cycles are there. I have selected sulfur cycle and iodine cycle. So in this sulfur and iodine cycle, on left side is iodine cycle, right side is sulfur cycle. You are passing hydrogen into the system. So this, what happens? Iodine reacts with water and sulfur dioxide react with water. So this reaction gives you HI and H2SO4, right? And this HI would be separated at 450 degrees centigrade into H2 and I2. This I2 will be again recycled back to the system, and hydrogen will be taken out from the system. And here this temperature is 850 degrees centigrade required is. So hydrogen sulfide gets converted into SO2 and H2O, and it will be oxygen will be removed from this system, right? So this is also a thermochemical cycle is there, but the disadvantage of this is you require temperature of 450 degrees centigrade on the left side and 850 degrees centigrade temperature on the right side. So it requires large amount of energy. Okay, so one of my group of faculty members, my former PhD students are working on this area. This is a very interesting, area. Here, what happens? You must have studied about the valence bond and different types of bend. So here. The reduction and oxidation takes place. There are two different type of one is called as a VB and second is called as a CB. CB is on the higher side, VB is on the lower side. So when you are providing some kind of light or electricity on the valence bond, this electron get accelerated and shift from this band to this band, right? And this electron will react to the hole which is present over here. So this electron will react with the hole that is H plus present over there and gives you hydrogen. Now this electron will hole per second electron any. So this oxidation takes place over here, where water is present, reacts with the hole, gives you oxygen plus 4H plus. So this is a very promising area, right? So right now what we are doing is Right. Generally, you require a very typical ultra wave to pass on this to accelerate electron to move from valence bond to covalent bond. But somehow, what happens that the energy requirement to push the electron from lower band to higher band will not be sufficient, and because of insufficient amount of energy which is provided, this electron will react with the hole which is present in the surrounding, in the neighbor, and this reaction doesn't take place. So what we are in chemical technology or chemical term, we are trying to dope some materials, catalysis materials like TiO2, ZNO, Fe2O3, sulfides, nanomaterials, such that this electron gets excited at a lower temperature and it moves from valence bond to covalent bond. Okay, so far we have seen various methods of production of hydrogen, and green hydrogen, what is called as a green hydrogen? Green hydrogen means it is produced from renewable sources. If hydrogen is produced from renewable sources, then it is called as a green hydrogen. There are different hydrogen is termed as a different gray hydrogen, pink hydrogen, some Turkish gray hydrogen, etc. That I will show you later. So, what is this green hydrogen? If someone asks me, what do you mean by green hydrogen? The definition is extremely simple. The hydrogen which is having a resource, or the material from which hydrogen is produced should be renewable resources. So renewable, when you talk about, it should be either solar or wind or biomass, etc. And once you produce the hydrogen, what is next? You have to store those hydrogen which is being produced. So hydrogen is stored using compressed gas, liquid hydrogen, ammonia, LOHC, that is liquid organic hydrogen carriers. Okay, once you store this, then you have to transport from one place to another place. So this transportation takes place through pipeline or shipping. So this is, from starting from production to final transportation. General schematic view is being shown. So what is green hydrogen? So I mentioned about different kind of hydrogen to you, methods of hydrogen. So first is, gray hydrogen. Why it is called as a gray hydrogen? Because the source primary input is natural gas plus water plus coal, right? So coal is one of the considered as a not desirable substance, and finally you get carbon dioxide, right? So that's why it is called as a gray hydrogen. The second is called as a blue hydrogen. The color is getting little bit brighter, right? But it is not called as a green hydrogen. The reason is, from natural gas you get carbon dioxide here. Okay, so output is carbon dioxide, so that's why the color is blue. The third is Turkish green, some kind of, it is called as a Turkish green, and here again you get output is carbon, so that's why it is not called as a green hydrogen. This is called as a green hydrogen. Why it is called as a green hydrogen? Because it is from renewable sources, and at the output also you won't get any carbon or any residue or carbon dioxide or monoxide, etc. Right? Now this is a pink hydrogen, right? So pink hydrogen, why? Because it is produced from nuclear resources. But what you get at the end? The wastage, nuclear wastage, which is extremely harmful and very difficult, and so many care has to be taken to deal with this wastage. This is called as a yellow kind of hydrogen, and yellow hydrogen is produced again from the grid electricity, right? But finally you get at the end carbon dioxide. So what is the ideal? Number 4 is considered to be the most ideal. That is defined as a green hydrogen. Why green hydrogen? It is very obvious for environmental consideration. Green hydrogen is most desirable, considering whatever the impact which we are facing right now, right? જાન્યુઆરીમાં અત્યારના કોકવાર એમ થાય છે ગરમી થાય છે ને કોઈવાર ઠંડી આવે લાગે છે ને. So this is because of whatever the damages which we have done so far to the environment, and the market is continuously growing. These are the applications, wide applications of green hydrogen. જો green hydrogen ના some complexity solve થઈ જાય તો it is it's a magical element for the humankind, for the mankind, and for the nature also. So variety of applications ranging from agriculture, synthetic fuels, industrial transportation, so many things, so many applications are there. Okay, now बहुत सारी बड़ी बातों पे, but there are some complexity or some drawbacks are there, and that is because of these reasons, industry people are not coming forward for the manufacturing of green hydrogen. Number one, very important thing is scarcity of water. Why? Because as I mentioned that in few of the electrolysis process you require purest of the pure water. So જ્યારે તમે પ્યોર વોટર બનાવો છો ત્યારે જે ડિસ્કાર્ડ થાય છે વોટર, તમે જ્યારે આરો યુઝ કરો છો ઘરે તો લગભગ 30 થી 40% સારું પાણી હોય છે, 60% તમારે વેસ્ટ જવું પડે છે. સો આ તો એનાથી પણ 100 times પ્યોર વોટર બનાવો છો. So discard would be 10% only good water or the pure water, 90% you are discarding. And that discarded water is heavy metal, contains very heavy metals and impurity, which is not at all good for the ecosystem or the water ecosystem, like fishes and other species living in the water. So the competition for water to aquatic ecosystem require high quality water. So this is one of the issue. Second is this emits nitrogen oxides. So this nitrogen oxide or NOx is very very harmful for the humankind. And problem is the internal combustion engine માં તમને કઈ problem થાય તો તરત ખ્યાલ આવી જાય. This is a silent case. So તમને ક્યારે મતલબ flare થાય you won't be able to find out. The third is infrastructure and cost barrier. Almost suppose if you are using hydrogen, so every 8 to 10 kilometers you have to refill the cell. Right now whatever the cell capacity is there, so એટલી તો આપણામાં મતલબ infrastructure possibilities નથી કે આપણે આટલું અત્યારના થઈ શકે. This is also extremely complex situation, transportation and storage of the liquid hydrogen. Because liquid hydrogen you have to refrigerate at cryogenic condition of -253 degrees centigrade, and either at -253 degrees centigrade or you have to use some high pressure. Now this situation, it is very difficult to transport it from one place to another place, right? And safety is a very important concern. As I mentioned that it is highly flammable. Hydrogen is highly flammable. So એનું સ્મેલ નથી હાઇડ્રોજન. So hydrogen ની સ્મેલ નથી એટલે તમને ખબર ન પડે કે હાઇડ્રોજન લીકેજ થાય છે. So you need a specialized firefighting mechanism for in case of leakage. So it is little bit hard to detect the leakage of hydrogen. So what is India's mission? India wants, as per the policy Green Hydrogen Viksit Bharat, our aim is to produce 5 MMT of green hydrogen per annum, and wanted to establish India as a global hydrogen production hub. This is the target, and these are the when the roadmap was produced, these are the targets or the data given to the for the various industry and the government organizations. Now, if let us say, for example, by 2030, if we start producing 5 million metric tons of hydrogen, and it is being utilized for various applications, industrial application as well as different automobile industries. આપણે માની લઈએ કે 2030ની સાલથી આપણે every year 5 MMT હાઇડ્રોજન પ્રોડ્યુસ કરતા થઈ જઈએ અને એનો ઉપયોગ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી as well as whatever આપણા જે કઈ ટ્રાન્સપોર્ટેશન છે એમાં કરવા માંડીએ. So in that case આપણે લગભગ અત્યારના જે આપણું પેટ્રોલ બિલ અથવા તો જે પેટ્રોલ ડીઝલ અથવા તો ક્રૂડ ઓઇલનું જે બિલ આવે છે એમાં આપણે લગભગ 60 થી 70 હજાર રૂપિયાનો ફાયદો 60 થી 70 હજાર કરોડ રૂપિયાનો વર્ષનો ફાયદો થાય. ઓલમોસ્ટ 6% કટ ડાઉન આપણું જે કાંઈ ઇમ્પોર્ટ બિલ છે એમાં થઈ શકે. અને અત્યારના મેજર જે કાંઈ લડાઈ છે એ આ પેટ્રો ક્રૂડ જેને કયો અથવા તો બ્લેક ગોલ્ડ જેને કયો એને લીધે જ છે. રિસન્ટલી Venezuela was attacked only because of this huge resources of petro gold which is available in the on the land of Venezuela. So as I mentioned that if you could able to achieve this 5 MMT per annum of green hydrogen, our bill could be reduced from 60 to 75,000 crore, which is almost equal to 6% of current crude import. In fact, I tried to get the analysis related to the effect on current GDP, and I tried to get all the data from 1825 to 2025. So, sir, what surprised me, and really it is a surprising thing, is હું જ્યારે સ્લાઇડ્સ બનાવતો હતો ગ્રીન હાઇડ્રોજનની ત્યારે મેં ડેટા જેટલા બને એટલા ડેટા ગેધર કરવા ટ્રાય કર્યો. So very astonishing thing which I found is if you focus on this 1825 and 1850, right? Year 1825, 1850. If you look at the global GDP ma China was contributing 33%, India was contributing 16%. Right? 1850, China was contributing 34%. India was contributing 16%. And during those years, USA contribution was 2% and 6% something. And other countries' contribution, you can see that it is not there more than double digit. And now you see the changes throughout the year. Now we are moving, we have reduced our percentage from 16%. In 2000 it was only 1.4%. Gradually we are increasing from 1.4% to 3.4%. Whereas China, you can see the jump in this 24 years from 3.6% to 16.8%. Right? And surprisingly, Japan is decreasing from 14% to 4%. Why I gathered this data, I wanted to know what is the effect of on GDP, percentage GDP in case we reach the target of 30 MMP, but it is not having major substantial change in the hardly 0.3 to 0.4%. But this, this is very surprising data. From 1825 to 2024, the changes of percentage GDP of different countries. Right. So, thank you very much. I thought this topic may be related with chemical engineering, but it is since it is a very recent trend is going on in the research area of green hydrogen, so hope to discuss or to give some input about some ideas about green hydrogen. Any questions?
Sorry, Dggec was on statistics with respect to our cost green hydrogen plant. So with the statistics, I got to know that the generation of 1 kg of hydrogen it necessitates total 52 to 55 kilojoules of energy in terms of electrical energy, and then after supplying that energy and gaining 1 kg of hydrogen, I have to use that in the normal IC engines. The total energy output given by hydrogen is less.
Yes.
So ultimately, how do you see this
It is not.
as a technology in terms of efficiency or efficiently storing the energy?
You are right. So it is, that's what I'm saying. Right now, whatever the hydrogen being produced, that is in a large scale, it is not economically viable. So તમે કદાચ ત્યાં તમે જ્યારે when you are passing across બરોડા, તો જે IOC ની જે IOC ફેક્ટરી છે, ત્યાં તમે રાતના ત્યાંથી પાસ થાવ તો તમને ખ્યાલ હશે કે so they are burning actually what hydrogen of it.
No space station.
Yes, there is no space to store. When I was in the beginning of my career, I was working with Tata Chemical. So Tata Chemical is producing the chlorine hydrochloric acid. So એનું જે byproduct છે electrolysis નું જે byproduct is hydrogen. But storage is so એ લોકો પણ they are also જમાય. So important thing is right now is how to manufacture the hydrogen which is economically viable. And this electrolysis source is considered to be comparative compared to all other sources. This source is considered much better. કારણ કે અત્યારે આપણે જે એટલી બધી એલાર્મિંગ વેમાં કાર્બનને આપણે એટમોસ્ફિયરમાં નાખીએ છીએ ને કે હજી તો આ ઇફેક્ટ જસ્ટ સ્ટાર્ટ થઈ છે. અત્યારનો જે ક્લાઇમેટ ચેન્જ ઇફેક્ટ ઇઝ જસ્ટ આપણે ઓબ્ઝર્વ કરીએ છીએ. પણ જો સેમ વે સેમ એમાઉન્ટ ઓફ કાર્બન ઇફ વી આર pushing in the environment in 5-10 years it is going to be summer will be like તમને એમ થાય કે so all government are trying to find out the alternate in such a way that whatever the process or production should be such that emission of carbon, it could be carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide, any form should be as less as possible. Now what exactly happened is European countries, all this technology, chemical engineering, chemical processes, chemistry, major invention took place in European countries. તમે જોજો તમે કેમિસ્ટ્રી બુક વાંચો કેમિકલ અને બધું processes. All processes were major invented either in USA or Europe. So they what they found that it is harming the environment. કારણ કે જે પ્રોડક્ટ મળી પછી જે બાય પ્રોડક્ટ છે એનું ડિસ્પોઝ કઈ રીતે કરવું અથવા તો બાય પ્રોડક્ટની સાથે ડીલ કેમ કરવું એટલે સુધી નહોતું ત્યારે ડેવલપ. So what they thought કે જે ડેવલપિંગ કન્ટ્રીઝ છે એ લોકોને આપણે આ બધું આપી દઈએ, જે ફાઇનલ માલ છે એ આપણે રાખીએ, એટલે જેટલો કચરો ઠલવાતો હશે એ આપણે આ બેલ્ટ આપણે જોઈએ જ છે અમદાવાદ ટુ સુરત અથવા તો આખો જે બેલ્ટ છે આ પ્રોસેસ આપણને આપી દીધી. અથવા તો સિમિલર થિંગ હેપન્ડ ઇન other developing countries like China and other countries surrounding countries. હવે શું એવું અત્યાર સુધી એ લોકો હેમન તરીકે પેલું કરતા, પણ આ ક્લાઇમેટ ચેન્જ ઇફેક્ટ આપણા ત્યાંથી હવે ઇફેક્ટ ત્યાં પણ ચાલુ. એટલે જે સ્નોફોલ છે એ નવેમ્બર મહિનામાં ચાલુ થવો જોઈએ એ હવે હમણાં ચાલુ છે, રાઈટ. અને જે અમુક તો સિચ્યુએશન યુરોપમાં કહીને કે સમર ઇઝ ઓલ્સો નાઉ વેરી વેરી 45-50 degree temperature. Now they are feeling the heat. એટલે કહેવાનું એ છે કે તમે તમારા ઘરથી દૂર બીજાના ઘરમાં તમે આગ કરો છો તો તમારો તો તમારે ત્યાં ક્યારેક તો આવશે ત્યારે. સો ઓલ મતલબ હવે બધા જ લોકો જાગૃત થયા છે ટ્રાઇંગ ફોર સસ્ટેનેબિલિટી અને એન્વાયરમેન્ટ વાતો કરે છે પણ હજી એક્ચ્યુઅલ પેલું પ્રેક્ટિસ એટલું નથી મૂકતા. પણ મૂકવા કરવું તો પડશે જ, છૂટકો જ નહીં. there is no way out. નહીંતર શું થશે કે બહુ જ એટલે આપણે હ્યુમન કાઇન્ડના એક્ઝિસ્ટન્સનો સવાલ હોય. કારણ કે ઇકોસિસ્ટમમાં જ નહીં રહેલું તો પછી હ્યુમન કાઇન્ડ કઈ રીતે સર્વાઈવ થશે. So thank you very much.
Presentation. Yes. So I request now Prasanna ma'am to say few words about this session.
સાચું કહેજો જે હોય.
ઇલેક્ટ્રિકલ એન્જિનિયરિંગ છું એટલે ટેકનિકલ એન્જિનિયરિંગ મને બહુ ખ્યાલ નથી પણ મારા હસબન્ડનું ટોપિક હતો માઇક્રોવેવ હતો અને ઘણીવાર હાઇડ્રોજન ફ્લોરન્સ ચેક કરતા આજે ટેકમાં ખબર ક્વેશ્ચન બહુ હતા કે આપણે ગ્રીન હાઇડ્રોજન બે છે તો આપણે સાઈડમાંથી એ પણ જાણવા પડે અને એ પણ ક્વેશ્ચન હતું કે જ્યારે પણ કોઈ નવી ટેકનોલોજી આવે છે તો પાછળ એના ઘણા બધા પ્રિન્સિપલ્સ હોય છે જે આપણને નથી ખબર પ્લસ ખબર પડે કે આનું તો આવું થયું એ પણ સારી ખબર પડે એટલે બહુ જ નોલેજ પડે અત્યાર સુધી સરને એક સ્કિલ પર્સન તરીકે મીટિંગમાં જોડે આજે લેક્ચર તરીકે પણ જોયા અને કેવી રીતે આપણે ડિઝાઇન કરી શકીએ સરનું ડાયવર્સિફાઈડ પરફોર્મન્સ પણ આજે જોયું થેન્ક યુ વેરી મચ સર આજના શબ્દો માટે શું
Thank you, really thank you. એટલે જે સ્ટ્રીક્ટ વાત કરી ને એ તો શું છે કે તમે એકવાર ત્યાં કામ કરો ને એટલે ખબર પડે. આ પેલું રોલ જેવું છે. અભિનેતા છે કયા રોલમાં આવે છે તે ત્યારે કેવું બિહેવ કરે છે ક્રિએટ કરે છે. પણ જે તમે વાત કરી કે એમાં જો સ્ટ્રીક્ટ તમે ન રહ્યો ને તો શું સિચ્યુએશન થાય એ તમે મતલબ અનુભવી શકો છો. Thank you very much.
I request madam to give the knowledge of this.
Thank you. મારો એવો અનુભવ છે કે તમે એટલે મેં બધા જ ટીચર પ્રિન્સિપાલ હેડ ઓફ ધ ડિપાર્ટમેન્ટ જોઈન્ટ ડાયરેક્ટર બધા જ રોલ મેં અત્યારના મારી પ્રોફેશનલ કેરિયરમાં મેં કરેલા છે પણ મારો એવો અનુભવ છે કે જો તમે સ્ટુડન્ટ સાથે કનેક્ટેડ રહો અને કંઈક ઇનોવેટિવ એક્ટિવિટીઝમાં તમે તમારી જાતને ઇન્વોલ્વ રાખો રિસર્ચ કહો કે સ્ટાર્ટઅપ કહો કે ભાવેશભાઈ બધા આપણે મારું જ્યારે પીએચડી ચાલતું હતું ત્યારે પણ એમને ઇલેક્ટ્રોનિક્સની રિલેટેડ ઘણી મદદ કરેલી તો જો ભલે તમે વિચારો મારું માસ્ટર પૂરું થઈ ગયું અને મારે ક્યાં કંઈ કરવાની જરૂર છે પીએચડી પૂરું થઈ ગયું એમને તમે તમારી જાતને એમાં ઇન્વોલ્વ રાખશો ને તો જે તમને સંતોષ મળશે જે કન્ટેન્ટમેન્ટ મળશે ને એ ખરેખર ખૂબ સારું શું કામ એ કારણ કહું આપણે ડિગ્રી કે ડિપ્લોમા કોલેજમાં આપણે સબ્જેક્ટ ભણાવીએ છીએ આપણને ખબર છે આપણે આખા વર્ષના ટોટલ મેક્સિમમ સબ્જેક્ટ ભણાવીએ છીએ ધારો કે હું ફેકલ્ટી છું તો મને એક સેમેસ્ટરમાં 2 સબ્જેક્ટ અને બીજા સેમેસ્ટરમાં 2 કે 3 સબ્જેક્ટ 5 સબ્જેક્ટ ભણાવીએ હવે આ 5 સબ્જેક્ટ તૈયાર કરવાના આપણે બધા જીપીએસસી પાસ થયા એટલે અમુક જે ઇન્ટેલેક્ચ્યુઅલ લેવલ છે બધા અમુક લેવલથી તો વધારે છે હવે આ 5 સબ્જેક્ટને તૈયાર કરતા અને આ પેલું કરતા લગભગ મારી દ્રષ્ટિએ 3 થી 4 વર્ષનો સમય લાગે તમે લેક્ચરર તરીકે ચાલુ થાઓ અને 4 થી 5 વર્ષમાં પછી તો એવું થાય કે તમને ઊંઘમાંથી ઉઠાડી દે અને કે જાઓ લેક્ચર લેવા તમે જઈ શકો બરાબર પછી મગજ તો ભગવાને બહુ આપેલું છે એન્જિનિયર થયેલા છો જીપીએસસી પાસ થયેલા છો હવે મગજને ઉપયોગ ક્યાં કરો એટલે શું થાય કે કા પોઝિટિવ બાજુ મગજ જાય અને કા નેગેટિવ બાજુ પોઝિટિવ બાજુ જાય ખૂબ સારું જો નેગેટિવ બાજુ ગયું તો ખબર છે આપણને બધે એટલે આ વસ્તુ મેં પણ ફીલ કરી હું જે કહું છું આઈ એમ ટેલિંગ યુ બેઝડ ઓન માય પર્સનલ એક્સપિરિયન્સ કે જ્યારે હું પીએચડી કરતો હતો અને મને જે ફેસ કરવાનું આવ્યું કે આ જે રિસર્ચનો પાર્ટ છે ને થોડો અઘરો છે. આમ એમ થાય કે શું જરૂર છે આપણે કરવાની, આપણને એક કઈ ને સિક્યોરિટી પેલામાં આવી ગયા હોય, કમ્ફર્ટ ઝોનમાં આવી ગયા હોય, પછી એમ થાય ક્યાં હવે કઈ કરવાનું અને ગવર્મેન્ટનું કઈ એવું પેલું મળતું ન હોય. પણ હું તમને વારંવાર એટલા માટે ઇન્સિસ્ટ કરું છું કે તમારા મેન્ટલ વેલબિંગ અને તમારે પોતાને જાતને આત્માને સંતોષ રાખવી હોય તો તમે જો રિસર્ચ ઉપર ફોકસ કરશો, રિસર્ચ છે, ઇનોવેશન છે, સમ ગુડ પ્રેક્ટિસીસ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીમાં, તો તમને 6 મહિના પછી તમે મને યાદ કરજો, વર્ષ પછી યાદ કરજો કે તમે તમારી જાતને એટલી ખુશ સમજશો કે તમને એમ થશે કે આઈ એમ બ્લેસ્ડ દેટ મને ભગવાને ટીચર બનાવ્યો, ફેકલ્ટી બનાવ્યો, મને કોઈ બીજું પ્રોફેશન આપ્યું નથી. અને આ એટલી બધો જે આ સંતોષ છે ને, એટલું બધો સરસ તમને ફિલિંગ આવશે ને કે વાત જવાની. ઘણા બધા આમાંથી કરતાય હશે, પણ જેને એમ થાય કે હવે ઠીક છે, હવે 7મો પગાર પણ મળે છે ને આ કેસ મળી ગયું છે, આ મળી ગયું. હું એટલા માટે જોઈન્ટ ડાયરેક્ટરના અનુભવથી કહું છું, જે અમારે એક્સપિરિયન્સીસ થાય છે એટલે કે ભાઈ હવે બધું મળી ગયું છે ને હવે બધા છોકરાઓ સેટ કરવા માંડ્યા છે, વાઈફ કમાય છે ને હવે ક્યાં બહુ આપણો કોઈ ખર્ચો નથી. તો કમ્ફર્ટ ઝોનની બહાર નીકળીને થોડું કંઈક અને એવું નથી તમને કહું કે મેં એવા કેસીસ જોયા છે કે જે રિમોટ પ્લેસીસમાં રહી અને રિસર્ચ સારું કરે છે, આપણા જ ફેકલ્ટી, અને એ લોકોના પેલા કહીને ટોપ 25 કે 2% એમના નામ આવેલા છે, એમાંથી તમે ઓળખતા પણ હશો. એટલે જેટલી તકલીફો વધારે હશે ને એટલું તમને વધારે પેલું થશે, ડ્રાઇવિંગ કોર્સ મળશે, તમારે કરવું છે. અને તકલીફોને માંથી જ તમને કંઈક રસ્તા નીકળતા જાય છે. આવા એક્ઝામ્પલ આપણી સામે છે. એટલે આ ઉત્કર્ષ નિગમ ઇઝ વર્કિંગ વિથ માય ઓફિસ. એને પૂછી જોજો કે હું આજની તારીખે પણ મારું 3 ગ્રુપ્સ મારા રિસર્ચમાં કામ કરે છે. આજની તારીખે હું દર શુક્રવારે હું એનડીમાં બેચલર્સના લેક્ચર અને માસ્ટર્સના લેક્ચર લેવા જાઉં છું. આજની તારીખે મારી ક્લાઇમેટ ચેન્જની 18 લાખની ગ્રાન્ટ મંજૂર થયેલી છે. મારી સ્ટેમની 3 ગ્રાન્ટ મંજૂર થયેલી છે. અને મને મારા સ્ટાફ મેમ્બર જે મતલબ કેમિકલ સાથે એસોસિએટેડ એ રીતસર મને ગાળો આપતા હોય છે બેકગ્રાઉન્ડમાં કે આ સાહેબને તો કાંઈ ધંધો નથી ને આપણને ધંધે લગાડે છે. એને હું ફોર્સ કરું છું મારા પીએચડી સ્ટુડન્ટ્સને, અને હું રોજે રોજ બોલાવીને જુદા જુદા જ્યાં પણ ડીએસપી ગ્રુપ પોસ્ટ ક્લાઇમેટ ચેન્જમાં હું ગ્રાન્ટ માટે એપ્લાય કરાવડાવું છું. હું સપ્ટેમ્બર મહિનામાં સ્પેસના પ્રોગ્રામમાં ગયેલો હતો, સાહેબ મારી સાથે હતા બેંગ્લોર. ત્યાં એક પુનાના એક પેલા મળી ગયા ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીયાલિસ્ટ, અને એને એમ લાગ્યું કે મારે એકેડેમિક એસોસિએશન કરવું છે. એટલે મેં તો સમયની પેલી હતી એટલે નિગમને મેં સાથે કેટાલિસ્ટ તરીકે રાખ્યો, કોઓર્ડિનેટર તરીકે. અને હમણાં જ અમે સવારના વાત કરી દર્શન સાથે અમે રિસર્ચ પ્રોપોઝલ સબમિટ કરીએ છીએ. એટલે જ્યાં પણ એમ દેખાય કે રિસર્ચ પ્રપોઝલ ઇન્વાઇટ, એટલે હું મારા ફેકલ્ટીને ખબર પડી જાય કે સાહેબનો કોર્સ આવશે અને મને એટલી ખબર પડી જાય કે આ પ્રકારની ગાળો મને આપે છે, છતાં પણ હું બધાને, અને પછી છેલ્લે જ્યારે પેટન્ટ્સ મળે ત્યારે એ લોકો જ મને કહે છે કે સાહેબ આ કીધું ને એટલે સારું થયું, આપણને પેટન્ટ્સ આપણને મળી ગયા. એટલે મારું ઇન શોર્ટ બધાને કહેવાનું એ છે કે વી આર સો મચ બેસ્ટ. આપણને કોઈ ખોટા આપણે આવા બિઝનેસમાં નથી કે મરજિયાતપણે આપણે ખોટા કામ કરવા પડે. આપણે એટલું સારું કામ કરીને સરસ રૂપિયા કમાઈએ છીએ, એટલે એટલા બધા ફોર્ચ્યુનેટ છીએ, તો વાય વી શુડ નોટ ટેક ધ એડવાન્ટેજ. આજે બપોરે જ પંચાલ સાહેબ મને ત્યાં એમની ઓફિસે લઈ ગયા ને ઇન્સ્ટિટ્યૂટ ઓફ એન્જિનિયર્સ એ પ્રમુખ થયા છે 2 વર્ષ માટે. તમે આ જ શબ્દ કીધા કે તમે આ 2 વર્ષ પ્રમુખ થયા છો તો તમે એવી આખી તમે સિસ્ટમ જનરેટ કરો કે તમારી કોલેજના સરાઉન્ડિંગ કોલેજના સ્ટુડન્ટ્સને મેક્સિમમ બેનિફિટ મળે, અને એ પ્રકારનું ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી સાથેનું લાઇસન્સ કરો. એટલે કહેવાનું એ છે કે જો આવી બધી તમે એક્ટિવિટીઝ કરશો ને તો આપણને આ એમ લાગશે કે કંઈક આપણે બધું ચાલુ છે. હું ટાટા કેમિકલ્સમાં સારી પોઝિશનમાં હતો, મીઠાપુર હતો. પછી મીઠાપુર કોઈ જોયેલું છે, ખ્યાલ છે? એટલે ઇટ્સ અ વેરી આઇસોલેટેડ પ્લેસ. જે સિટીમાંથી રહેલો હોય ને એને થાય કે આ ક્યાં પેલામાં વનભગડામાં તમે આવી ગયા. અને બહુ જ ડ્રાય પ્લેસ છે એકદમ. સવારે જ્યારે શિફ્ટ ચાલુ થાય ત્યારે તમને લોકો દેખાય અને શિફ્ટ પૂરી થાય ત્યારે લોકો દેખાય, બાકી એકદમ સુનસાન હોય. એટલે મને પોણા 2 વર્ષ પછી મને આઈ ગોટ ઓપોર્ચ્યુનિટી ઇન રાજકોટ ઇન ટીચિંગ જોબ. ત્યારે મને મારે એક રિલેટિવ એમ કીધું કે યુ મેડ એ પ્રોફેશનલ સુસાઇડ બાય સિલેક્ટિંગ ફ્રોમ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી ટુ ટીચિંગ. એટલે મારે ગમે એમ કરીને 6 મહિના તો મને એમ થઈ ગયું કે મેં ખરેખર મેં ખોટું ભોગવી ગયું છે અને એવું લાગ્યું કે હું ડિપ્રેશનમાં આવી ગયો. પણ પછી મેં નક્કી કર્યું કે ના, આ જે લીધું છે એને મારે મારી રીતે બેસ્ટ કરીને જેટલું શક્તિ મને ભગવાન આપી છે એટલું કરવું. અને એ ટાઈમને અત્યારના ટાઈમને લગભગ 26 વર્ષ જેવો સમય થયો અને મને જે કાંઈ કર્યું છે, જેટલું કર્યું છે એમ સંતોષ છે કે ના. અને હજી એમ થાય છે કે હજી કંઈક આપણે કરીએ. એમાં કોઈ પેલું ક્રેડિટ કે જસ કે કોઈ મોટા ભાગ થવાનું નહીં, પણ અલ્ટિમેટલી આપણને પોતાને એક સંતોષ થાય કે ના, આપણે કંઈક સારું કર્યું. રાઈટ? એટલે આ થોડું મને એમ થયું કે જોઈન્ટ ડાયરેક્ટર માંથી બહાર નીકળીને જ્યારે હું ફેકલ્ટી તરીકે આવ્યો છું તો હું મારા જે કઈ અનુભવ છે તમારી સાથે શેર કરું. થેન્ક યુ વેરી મચ. ટી અને કોફી આવી પૂછે તો
This will be used by someone else.
હવે નથી કઈ આજે
હા કરે છે. અને આપણે જો નેક્સ્ટ જઈએ મારા માટે હા ના યસ હા મારી ટેકનિક હા ના 104 હા નીચે હા યસ ગરમ છે હા ગરમ યસ રોડ ઓર કોઈ વાત નહીં. હા એક બે જગ્યાથી કરાવવાનું છે. હા હા અરે હા બોલો હા બોલો હા WhatsApp કરી દીધું.
મારી બે કે આપણે
हाँ ले
उसको रास्ता टीम ने वो रिसेप्शन
जी 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 चलो पाँच
बोले हमारे दोस्त
હા એટલે બીજ તો નવી કરાવો કે હજી આજ આપો કે બીજી નવી કરાવો એટલે આપણે હા એ તો મોબાઈલ છે હા हाँ तो ऐसा हाँ तो कोई ऐसा ही करो हाँ no someone अच्छा कोरोना ऑपरेशन ऑनलाइन કર્યું ત્યારે 50 પાર્ટિસિપેન્ટ જ્યારે આપણે દેશમાં છે ને યુનિવર્સિટી ઓફ ટેક્સાસના ડોક્ટર વીપી સિંહ સર એ નાનોલે ત્યારે તો ફોરેનના બી આપણે રાખેલા હતા ફિનલેન્ડ યુનિવર્સિટી બોલો આ એ છોકરાઓ બધા એક છોકરા ફ્લાયર
સવારના દીકરા છે એનઆઈટી નું સેશન છે આ એનઆઈટી પણ થાય એટલે અભી દીકરા અહીંયા બધું 545 વગેરે નીકળી એનઆઈટી
આજે જે સવારે ટ્રાફિક
એક સવારે 8 એ ડ્યુરેશન અને એક સાંજનો ડ્યુરેશન એટલે એ કીધું ને ના આપણે અહીંયાથી છોકરા બેઠા ને એનઆઈટી નું ફ્લાયર હતું અમે ગુપ્તા સરનું ઇનોવેશન એ બી હતા
ત્યાં સારા ચાલે એટલે બે ખાના જે હતા ને એટલે એવું કીધું કે ખાલી કવર જે છે એટલે તમે સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ ને કઈ દે ઓબ્ઝર્વ નામ કેવો થાય કે 4 વાગે 100 છોકરા આવી પછી આપણે 5 થઈ ને પછી કોઈ દેખાય
હા છે ને આ ઉત્કર્ષ બી છે તો જ કહેવાય કે સુરતમાં તો
પૈસા આપવું એનાથી
અરે દરિયાઓ અત્યારે જી હા 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 ક્લિયરિંગ હોવું જોઈએ અને કોઈ બીજું કોઈ છે તમારે હા બીજું કોણ છે તમારે જેની પાસે વેહિકલ હા એનો ઉપર શું લઈ આવે છે શું લઈ આવે છે હા બસ ઓકે તો નીચે ઉપર સેમિનારમાં હા હા એ લોકો પૂરું પહેલા તો એવું કર્યું હતું કે સર 4 વાગે આવે ને તો આમ તો અમારે 5 સાડા 5 સુધી હોય છે તો એ લોકો બી રહે ત્યાં તો આપણે વાંધો ના આવે પણ હવે પતી ગયું છે કલાક માટે હા Harry. મને તો નથી લાગતું સર મને એવું મને કહો ને સર સવા 5 સાડા 5 થશે એ ભવિષ્ય આવું ઇટ્સ ક્વાઇટ પ્રોબ્લેમ બંને પ્રિન્સિપાલને કહી દઉં તમે ફેકલ્ટી જતા હો હા નથી સર આપણે શાળામાંથી સંઘર્ષ લઈ જવું પડશે 6:30 હા સાડા પાંચે નીકળવું પડશે હા પાંચ છે કેવા અંદર કલાક કોને યાર જીરાની બીજી જઈશું આપણે હા કેવું કરી હા શોર્ટ કોઈ વાંધો નહીં એમાં વાંધો નહીં આવે પાછળ સુધી જઈએ કારણ કે તમારે કદાચ શું કે આ સાહેબ આપણે પોણા છ નીકળી જશે આપણે તો હું નીકળી જઈશ सब को गिफ्ट केवल चलશે લાગી સાહેબ સ્પેશિયલ સિમ્પલ સિમ્પલ અને માવા લાગી હા હા યસ હા ડીસો અમારો જે હોલ છે એમાં ક્યાં રાખીએ બાકી આપણે લઈને મોકલી આપીએ કોઈ સાઈડ ના આવી આવે છે આપણે પોલીસને કોલ કરી અત્યારે ફેકલ્ટીને કે લોકો મોકલાઈ જાય
જરૂર પડે તો ફેકલ્ટી ને અહીંયાની મજા આવે આવશે
સર તમારે આપણે ગાડી મુકાઈ સર તમારી ગાડીમાં જવું છે
મારી ગાડી છે
તમારી ગાડી મૂકી દો
નો સાહેબ માણસ નીકળી જશે આપણે માણસ આપણે નીકળી જશે
સોરી
એ આવે છે માણસ આપણે નીકળી જશે
બસ એવું કર્યું તો કઈ હું છે ને હું આવું છું ત્યાં સાંજે તું અહીંયા જ રહેજે મને બરાબર કારણ કે હવે થોડું શીટ કામ કર્યું છે ને એટલે બરાબર એટલે આની એક્ઝામ પતે એટલે અહીંયા જ બોલાવી દેજો
અહીંયા તો તમને
હા હા ઓકે બોલો સાહેબ બોલો બોલો
અહીંયા
એટલે કોઈ રોકાવાના છે
હું છું કેમ કે આ છું મારે નહીં જોડે બાકી બધા લોકો
सेशन 5 बजे
ये लाइट चल रहा है तो बैठने को
અહીંયા છે કઈ ઇવેન્ટ અત્યારે 5 વાગે 104 ક્યાં છે દર્શન સાહેબ
તમે સીધા જશો અને લેફ્ટ લઈ લેજો.
આ
પહેલો
બસ
સ્ટેન્ડ
સ્ટેન્ડની
લઈ
બાજુ
લેજો.
અહીંથી સ્ટ્રેટ લેફ્ટમાં
વોશરૂમ છે ને
ઓકે
એ એક્ઝેક્ટ સામે.
ઓકે
क्या किया सब खाली तो पड़ा है।
Hello. क्या कर रहा था, क्या कर रहे हो? भाई ना भाई कितना Oh, empty. Security. I got one out on TV.
યુવરાજ હવે પેલું તારે બોલ ઓય આમાં બધા જ જગ્યા નથી ચાલો પાછળ ચાલો પાછળ ચાલો ના ઉધર બેઠે લઈ લો ઘરે તું લેપટોપ લઈ લે મેં કેમેરો ચાલ બેવ ચાલો ચાલો દીદી बरोबर बस मध्ये वाईट बस जायची
इसको हिलाओ यार, नीचे देखते चलो ना। इसको मत हिलाओ।
તને સંભાળવા મૂકું છું.
सवाल नहीं है।
પાછળ ચાલ, પાછળ.
ये गाड़ी में चल रहे हो, लगाती नहीं।
આગળની બે ખુરશી. અરે
Good evening, respected
Hello.
Anil Gupta sir, respected principal sir. As we know that we are already short of time, sir has spared his valuable time to share his views and to discuss the grassroots innovations and other things with us. So without taking much time, I would like to invite our beloved principal sir to welcome Professor Anil Gupta. Uh, Anil Gupta sir is a very well-known personality across academia, so he would not require such formal introduction. But to say a few words, he's been pioneer in grassroots level innovations, and though he retired from IMA in 2017, he is still serving as the visiting professor there. So he is still active in his field. And if I talk about today's schedule of him, he left from Ahmedabad from 6 a.m. and still from this session he has to deliver one more session at SBNI. So at this age, still he is active and contributing to the startup innovation and other grassroots level innovations, as well as interaction with the students and faculties of various academia. So I just welcome sir, so that maximum time of him can be given for this session. Please sir.
Namaskar and good evening, friends. First, let me spend a few minutes in defining how we find creative solutions to problems that are around us, and what are the robust heuristics and rules by which we can overcome our own inertia and be more innovative and creative. Then I'll discuss with you the context of today, which is more focused on energy innovations. But we are also looking for innovation anywhere. We remember that there are 4 dimensions of any phenomena that we can study at any time, which is material, method, application or use, and delivery system. And each one of them can be dichotomized into old or new. So method can be new or old, material can be old or new, application can be old or new, and delivery system can also be old. One of the 4 should be new to consider the product or process as an innovation. Let's take an example. Aspirin. You must have all taken some time or the other for headache. It was developed for headache But when its use was found as a blood thinner, which was a new use of an existing molecule manufactured by existing method and delivered in an existing way of consuming it, that became innovation. Likewise, azadidactin, which is a compound extracted from neem used for pesticide purpose, if it is extracted by a known method, is a known compound, but used not for pest control but for growing hairs on the baldy head, that is a innovation. In the case of Uber or Ola, everything was there. We knew how to hire a taxi, we knew how to pay for them online, we knew how to book them. But when any taxi from anywhere to anywhere could be booked, that became a new delivery system. So look at an insulin patch, which is used to release insulin. And we put it on our body, and it senses the sugar level, assume for a minute, and releases as much as is required and when it is required. That will be a new delivery system. So far we don't have that, but it can be developed. What we have is, we give injection, correct? Morning, evening, whatever, depending upon dental's injection or other, how much sugar level is, and accordingly we adjust the dose. But that dose is adjusted external to the system. But imagine that the sensor, the patch would sense the sugar level and release slowly the amount of insulin that is required. That will be a new delivery system. So innovation can be a new material, it can be a new application, or it can be a new delivery system. And I would wish that we all, each one of you, will generate new innovations. I should also tell you something which can be very useful to you in your studies as well as projects. At GAN.org, GIAN.org/databases. When you get time, you look it up. We have 1 million abundant US patents in an open access database. Two of my students, Zainab and Devika, talked to me after they passed out, whether I had a dream which I had unfulfilled. I wrote about opportunity and abundant patents, but didn't do anything. Both of them built this database along with my career. So this is an open source available to all of you to blend with your own ideas, with your own projects, set up your own startup by using these ideas which are now open source. Anybody can use them. They were very pieces of intellectual property, fees was not paid, so they got abandoned. Now anybody can. Similarly, there is a database, there is a platform called techpedia.in, TECHPEDIA, techpedia.in, which has information of 200,000 engineering projects. I was talking to Professor, he said now many of you go for internships, you don't do project, but earlier every student had to do a project. And 200,000 students, 200,000 projects by 600,000 students of India, IQs and IQs. Why did we do that? We don't want any one of you to do what has been done before. You are all precious and unique. A unique person must address a unique problem. There is no justification for a student to do what has already been done. So how do we promote novelty? How do we promote originality? We should know what others have done. That's why we build this database. Like that, there are many other databases at that site, GAN.org/databases. All of these are open source, farmers innovations, waste management, energy, multimedia, multi-language database, etc. Why are we creating these open databases? Honeybee network set up more than 57, 48 years ago. Honeybee is like a metaphor. Honeybee does what we intellectuals don't do, cross-pollination of ideas. So I'm going here, I pick up some idea from you, I will give you time for 50 to 20 minutes for question and answer. And if you ask some question which I have not thought about, that will be my game of it. I always consider for a teacher the best gift is the question that he or she cannot answer. That night becomes very difficult for us. We have to prepare, the next day we have to answer that question. And we learn a lot in that moment. So we're looking for innovations, ideas and innovations. Proof of concept, prototype, not necessarily startup, but if there is a startup, welcome. And the purpose is that there is a huge crisis all over the world because of the energy consumption, energy utilization, energy augmentation, energy distribution. There are problems in all its aspects of from generation to utilization. And that's why the concept of circular economy has come up. Some of you must be aware. In circular economy, where there is zero waste economy, industrial ecologists define waste as a product for which use has not yet been found. In other words, there is no waste. Just that we don't know yet what can be done with this waste. So therefore, circular economy offers enormous opportunity for innovation. To give you some simple example, many of you must have eaten cob of corn. Gupta खाया होगा आपने ना? मक्की का? तो उसको जब छीलते हैं तो उसमें बाल होते हैं. क्या करते हैं उसको? फेंक देते हैं. मैं उसकी चाय पीता हूँ. कौन से बोलते हैं उसको? तो आज नेट पे चेक करना बोलते हैं. कौन से के यूजेस? So it is very good for UTI. It has a lot of antioxidants. It is also good for prostate, which at my age sometimes you have. So I take tea of concentrate, which is abundant resource. फेंक देते हैं हम लोग इसको. लेकिन बहुत काम की चीज है. I was in touch with Gandhidham today back for Gandhidham. This party which are district level summit that is taking place. And I asked them, what do you do with the leaves of date palm? गिर जाती हैं तो फेंक दे, जला देते हैं. Today you check up date palm leaf products possible, and you will find so many uses out of it. So circular economy offers tremendous opportunity, and among various ways of implementing circular economy, one is to focus on abundant and abundant resources. Like one thing is abundant, which is not used. Like that onion peel. प्याज लाते हैं तो ऊपर का छिलका फेंक देते हैं ना. जरा पढ़ना उसके बारे में आज. तो ये अनियन पील का क्या यूज होता है? इट इज वेरी यूजफुल फॉर सैनिटाइजर्स. इट कैन बी एंटीमाइक्रोबियल एजेंट फॉर दैट. किचन को क्लीन करना है, क्यों जैसे अल्कोहल यूज करना है, सिंथेटिक केमिकल यूज करना है. You can think of your own. So I'm saying that no matter which discipline you come from, but there must be a curiosity as to what can we do with something that is going to waste. What is the advantage? One, cost is low, so you will access it easily, affordable, accessible, and your product can become available. Affordable, accessible, and available. All the three conditions are met, then it becomes a frugal innovation. Affordable, accessible, available. Frugal innovation. So let's look at some of the things. These are different stages: generation, conservation, augmentation, distribution, storage. At any stage, there is an innovation there. And you can write to us at gpcl@gyan.org or gyan@gyan.org. GIAN@gyan.org. This is a triangle for which Gyan was set up in 1997 in partnership with Gujarat government and Navy Network and IIM. Innovation, investment, and enterprise. All the three may not be in one place, one person, or one institution. I may have an idea, I may not have investment, or I may not have entrepreneurial skill. That's why we need teams. Successful enterprises are those which have a good team. So don't insist on doing everything yourself. Many times startups fail because the founder wants to do everything himself. No, that's essentially what we are not good in everything. I am not good in everything. You are not good in everything. Nobody is good in everything. We are good in something, but there are other areas where we need help of others, and we should recognize that. So all the three will have to be reached, and then we can generate solutions that can go around the world. So various sources of energy, you can have innovation in hydro turbines, hydrogen, zero head turbines, water is flowing without a slope, much slope, and then you can use the flow to generate energy and lift water by hydrogen. You can have windmill, You can have hybrid of wind and solar. Solar windmill panels can have windmill winds can have solar panels. So you can have energy in the day and night too. So think of new ways. Solar panels are now flexible. And solar panels, one of the innovations last year we recognized was having a clay plate for having water below the panel, which reduces the temperature of the panel because of evaporation, the efficiency of the panel goes up. Even more, another startup, they are using nanomaterial, nanographene, graphene in nanoparticles, sprayed on the panel, it increases the efficiency. So within solar panel, how do we cross the barrier of 20 to 23, 34% energy? So many ways which are emerging. And many of you will find new ways of doing that. So I'm trying to challenge you to think of new solutions which are possible, write to us, and for all that we know, with the help of our principal and other principals of other colleges here, we can, and the faculty, we can find ways in supporting your ideas to convert into and the society also. Solar, thermal, heat gradient in the kitchen. When you cook something on the gas, a lot of heat goes waste. But in Meghalaya, you found 4 trays on the top of cooking stove. On the first one, they keep wood for curing, wood becomes stronger for making trolleys. On the second, they keep wood for drying. Meghalaya has highest rainfall in Cherrapunji. Third, they keep meat or cheese or whatever they want to dry. And fourth one is the one where they keep seeds and other vegetable trees and things that they have to preserve for a long time. Heat gradient is being used for functional purposes. As the heat moves, it loses temperature. But that temperature is what we need for a particular functional use. So how to, in our kitchen, we have not yet done it, but we should do it. Because a lot of waste heat from the gas is going in the atmosphere without being used. So how to functionalize heat? We have heat exchangers. There is a small startup, small company in Hyderabad. They have made for a wood stove, which is used by many people who can't afford gas. On the outer surface, you put that heat exchanger, you can charge a battery, you can have LED light. Heat into energy. Waste heat. Heat which is going to the atmosphere. So a lot of such possibilities are there, and I would suggest that please apply your mind. Any heat which is being wasted, any energy which is being wasted is an opportunity for innovation. To see how solar, biochar, gasification, turbines, chemical, DRDL, Defense Research Laboratory developed a packet for our soldiers. So when they open the packet, exothermic reaction takes place, the food inside becomes hot. And the soldier can have now hot. Why not? What is the driver of these innovations? The driver is some Vedana. Some means equal, Vedana means pain. When you consider the pain of someone, human or non-human beings, as your own, it becomes your pain. Now you trying to solve your pain. With the driver, हम ये नहीं सोचेंगे हम किसी और की प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर रहे हैं, हम अपनी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर रहे हैं, कोई लोग डर मिला हो गया। संवेदना से सृजनशीलता स्वांतः सुखाय अपनी खुशी के लिए, दैट इज अ वेरी पावरफुल ड्राइवर। इसके लिए मुझे किसी का इनाम नहीं चाहिए, किसी से रिवॉर्ड नहीं चाहिए, किसी से रिकॉग्निशन नहीं चाहिए। आई एम डूइंग इट फॉर माय ओन सेक। So therefore you will never get exhausted in your motivation and effort. That's a powerful way. संवेदना से अगर हम काम करेंगे, कभी थकेंगे नहीं और कभी किसी के कोई पूछता है हमको कोई इज्जत देता है कि नहीं देता, तो उसके लिए सम्मान देता है कि देता है, इसका कोई असर नहीं पड़ता। मैं अपना दर्द कम कर रहा हूँ, किसी के साथ नहीं कर रहा। There are different kinds of reactions that we can do. Let me give you some examples. This is from Vadodara, a simple cart for vegetable vendor. Again, a used to energy. This is from Coimbatore, a dryer for drying vegetables, fruits, whatever. This is from Rajkot, a biomethanation plant, IoT based. So it will adjust the gas flow by looking at the combustion rate, etc. This is again another one from Amreli, and he has now made many modifications, multi-chamber, biogas plant, much more efficient than the earlier ones that we had. And these are young. He was a student when he submitted that idea to us. Now he has set up a startup. Heating system for domestic. So this is a stove which will work on solar, gas, and LPG, biogas, multi-fuel stove. Depending what sort of source of energy you have, you can switch depending on what. Nano coating, this is from IIT Bombay. Thermal efficiency being increased by nano coating. Those of you who have interest in nanomaterials, this is a good idea which can be tried out. This is very interesting. This student submitted this idea for innovation competition. You can convert a vehicle into battery powered vehicle in 5 to 10 minutes. So you can move from EV to fossil fuel very quickly, depending upon what kind of terrain you're moving, what kind of traffic you have, what kind of energy consumption you want. You can hybrid vehicle. But again, attachable, detachable and attachable. This is very interesting from Telangana. This fellow has designed a heat exchange based system which can convert any room of 2-ton capacity into cold storage at the cost of 70,000 rupees only. Isn't it interesting? So he has combined evaporative cooling with heat exchanger system and brings 15 to 17 to 25 degree, 18 to 25 degree temperature, which is good enough for keeping vegetables for 3 days. Now he has made another innovation. The crates that you have for keeping vegetable, within that he has made them double walled and put a small fan. So 3 crates with vegetable will keep vegetable fresh for now 4 days. You don't have to convert the entire room, just convert the crates. Why is he doing that? Because he's bothered by the pain of the farmers whose vegetable gets spoiled, and the vegetable vendors whose vegetable gets spoiled in 1 day. Because also the सारा नहीं बिकता है तो अगले दिन तो कोई खरीदेगा नहीं इंस्टेंट वेजिटेबल तो उसने क्रेट पर कन्वर्ट कर दिया बोला इतना काम होगा वेजिटेबल वेंडर के पास तो पूरा रूम को कोल्ड स्टोर कराएगा क्रेट को बना दिया he sent it to us very nice. This is of course you must have heard about Vicky Cool Mansur Bhai Prajapati. He has designed this evaporative cooling system, double wall system for clay, water is there, evaporate. It's cooled by about 9 degrees, which is good enough. Taking vegetable fresh. This is very interesting. Any cycle, this red structure that you see, Bombay, the 2 students who did it, attach it to the cycle, it becomes EV, take it out to the classroom, keep the cycle outside, not a problem. Simple. अपने क्लास में लगा दो बैटरी और प्लग में चार्ज हो जाएगा. Isn't it nice? To encourage students to use cycle rather than 12,000 kilometers. Hydrostrike, this is something from Kashmir, where the flow of the river has been tamed to a channel and the turbines are run to generate energy. Interesting. This is a battery pack. How do you convert battery packs into more efficient user? You know, depending upon how much is being discharged, how much should battery be heated, how do you manage heat and charge and flow when it is idle and when it is used. Very interesting system. Battery life by 50% it extends by efficient use of energy. This is from North Gujarat, manual spreader. The machine has cost 6 lakh. He has sold about 700 such machines in the last 3 years. Very useful for spreading wet or dry compost uniformly in the field. Ground digger, ground pressure, transport, and transplanter, This fellow has done something interesting. They were second year student when we gave them award in 2018 from Udaipur, and they have now developed a polymer using vegetable waste, peel of vegetables. आपकी मैस में से आप छिलका इकट्ठा कर लो, इसको polymerize किया, it became hydrogel. So it helps in dry regions retain the water, and at the same time provide nutrients, prevent leaching of nutrients, and good solution for agriculture. We have been doing trial in Japan, in US. We got 30 crore rupees of investment from JICA. So imagine a young student, now of course they are graduating, but young student at second year level could think of this idea. We normally give awards to IITians and IISER and other people when they give Ghanaian Young Technological Innovation Award, GYTI, you might have heard about GYTI.edu.in. But this was a we made an exception in their case, though they are second year, but their idea was so good and where did they do the trial? ये आपकी डोमेट्री के बीच में जगह है नहीं है, यहाँ पर कनेक्ट करें। स्टूडेंट को कौन काम देगा? उन्होंने खाली जगह में एक्सपेरिमेंट करके दिखाया है, फोटो भेजा। We found it very interesting, and I'm very happy that we could spot the talent in our village. So that's what Honeybee Network wants to do with Jan and Sister trying to do, to spot the talent in an early age, and then see how you will grow it. Automatic softening with paper, a rocket stove. Oh, this fellow has used lantana, which is an invasive species, recycled hybrid from Sierra Leone. This is a very interesting model. Both it has happened in Bangladesh and also in India. What happens if you have a solar panel? If you sell electricity to the grid, you get 2.5 rupees. If you buy, you pay 7 rupees. Right? Now, you have extra energy. I have got some guest in my house, extra guest for some function. I want to buy from you through blockchain. I pay 5 rupees to you. So you, instead of getting 2.5, you're getting 5. I, instead of paying 7 rupees, I'm getting 5. I'm gaining, you are gaining through blockchain, horizontal grid-based, microgrid-based market for energy. Good idea, isn't it? So these are the emerging ideas that we should think about. How do we incentivize people to pool? Otherwise, मेरी energy तो मुझे ढाई रुपए मिल रहा था ना खाली grid में डालने से. मैं grid पे दूँगा, मैं अपने neighbor को दूँगा. उसके लिए of course you have to design different kind of grids. This fellow in Junagadh has designed a crematorium furnace which uses as much wood as the weight of the body. Normally we use 300 to 400 kg wood for one cremation. We will use only 60 kg or 70 kg. कितना saving हो गया wood का? Use ceramic tiles, efficient furnace, and then. So let me stop here, and if you have any questions, I will be very happy to answer. Yes, please.
Sir, could you throw some light?
Yeah, I found it.
Could you throw some light? Waste to energy.
There are a lot of efforts going on waste to energy. One of the popular one is thermal. You burn and use the heat. Second is again, you ferment and generate gas and then convert it to heat. Yes?
Materials.
Huh?
The biggest problem is the conversion, burning.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is fermentation is more efficient than burning. No? So you convert into gas, and gas if you use burn, it will release less carbon than in the case if you use the solid waste. So the conversion efficiency will go up. Plus, the waste can become manure if it's bio-waste. Then you are using, you can sequester, if you make it to biochar, you know, at high temperature, low oxygen, you burn that. Now that biochar can be used for sequestration of carbon. If you mix it with the soil, it sequesters carbon, retains carbon in the soil, rather than releasing it. So that is even more efficient using biochar. Although it is really costly, and at commercial scale, it is just picking up in some places. It has not become very popular, but people are doing a lot of trials. Several startups are coming in India on biochar. Anybody else? How much time do we have?
Especially those who are doing their POCs, they have the questions they can ask.
Yes, please.
How can students make small ideas?
How can you?
How can students make small ideas for useful for society?
Yes. It's an interesting question. How does a student leverage a small idea? There are many ways. One is to find out some other friends who also share your enthusiasm for the idea. So that somebody does the prototyping, somebody does the mathematical calculations, somebody does the simulation, and try to find out before you build the actual physical product, somebody does the CAD/CAM designing. So you will have team of people with different skills together working on that small idea. And treat it as a fun, as a game, as a joyful exercise where if it works, it doesn't work, doesn't matter, at least we tried. So far as the funds are concerned and the SSIP, you have some funds, I'm sure. All colleges have. Do that. Yes, you have that money. But I would say that initially, no harm to this low cost idea. When the cost of failure is low, my suggestion is try. Many of us keep thinking about our ideas. For ages, if I ask you, is there anyone who has not murdered his or her idea in this room? All of you are murderers. All of you have killed some or the other idea and you've been brooding it for years or months. ऐसा हो जाता कितना अच्छा होता है, करना ना भाई, करना नहीं है। Inertia बहुत ठीक है हमारे स्टूडेंट्स के अंदर, उसको try to overcome that inertia. Be impatient with ideas. अगर आइडिया आ गया और फेलियर कॉस्ट लो है तो कर डालना, क्या देखा जाएगा बच्चों। Failure should not be stigmatized. In fact, we should laugh about it. We should joyfully share. मैंने एक्चुअली क्या नहीं मिला है, कोई बात नहीं है, हमने भी फेल किया कई बार, तुमने फेल किया तो क्या करता। We should reinforce each other's spirit of failure. Many times we make fun of it, we mock at it, and that the consequence is that people don't share their failure. If you don't share, other people won't learn, they will repeat the same mistake that I have done. You get what? At my cost, if you learn, then it's not a failure, it's an investment. You remember, every failure becomes investment if we learn from it. Not only I learn, my other friends, neighbors, class fellows also should learn. I would encourage teachers to ask students to share failed experiments. Once in a while, in every subject, we should ask the students to explain failure. And then we can learn a lot. Anybody else?
Sir, from academia side.
Yes.
Many of the faculties are also joining the session live in the other groups. So what we are facing, I'm SSI coordinator. Students are not that consistent with their ideas, and after reaching the final year, if we tell them to continue, they are hesitating. Sometimes what happens, they get the internship and they get the job, they leave their ideas. Like we have seen that art, solar card. मैं दाहोद था इससे पहले, वहाँ पर बच्चों ने बनाई एक्सरसाइज ग्रांट में, फिर वो आइडिया को वहीं पर करके चले गए. So how to maintain that students so that they can continue their journey?
Maheshji, this is a very good question. Once I was giving a lecture in ST Microeconomics, a semiconductor company, 6th largest company in Noida. And an Italian engineer heard me and said, Anil, isn't it true that India is the largest graveyard of student projects? And I said, yes. You know, if you don't want to take it forward, make it open source. Let somebody else from any other college take it up. हम भी नहीं करेंगे, किसी और को भी नहीं करने देंगे, ये स्पिरिट गलत है. That's not the way country will progress ever. आप सब लोग गिटहब पे जाते हो, वहाँ से डाउनलोड करते हो ना पैचेस को अपने सॉफ्टवेयर के. किसी डाला है तो पैच करते डाउनलोड. यहाँ कोई है जिसका अपलोड टू डाउनलोड रेशियो मोर देन 1 है? बोलो बोलो बोलो. सुना मैंने क्या कहा? Upload to download ratio more than 1. The countries which progress which lead the world have a culture of high upload to download ratio. आप लोग का download बहुत ज़्यादा है, upload बहुत कम. What professor said just now is, if you upload your design and mention that I'm going to take up a job, so I'm not going to do it myself. But if somebody wants to do it, I'm willing to mentor and share whatever mistakes we did in this and how we can improve it. So if that fellow, the student who had developed the car, could have become mentor of someone else who wanted to take it forward. And someone else could be a student or could be an entrepreneur or could be a startup. क्या दिक्कत है? कोई भी हो सकता है ना? तो ये spirit रखो अपने अंदर. That if I am not going to take my idea forward, let me not block its growth. Idea must survive even my inertia. Coco model, please. We call it Coco model, relay model. An idea emerges in the house, it grows further in Surat, then further in Junagadh, then in maybe Ahmedabad, it becomes a product. ठीक है, ऐसा हो सकता है? करना नहीं, let us try. आप अपने friends को भी बोलो. The faculty should also create a network and share those ideas which they think have a potential, but with their students did not drive forward. I think we should share a spreadsheet of such ideas or a database of such ideas with other colleagues in other colleges. तो कोई स्टूडेंट शायद इसको आगे ले जाने के लिए तैयार हो जाए, क्योंकि उनको रेडीमेड एक TRL 3, TRL 2 का प्रोजेक्ट मिल जाता है. टेक्नोलॉजी रेडनेस लेवल, TRL मीन टेक्नोलॉजी रेडनेस लेवल. When it reaches 8 or 9, it goes to the market. ठीक है ना? 6, 7 में वो अभी प्रोटोटाइप स्टेज में, 2, 3 में, 4 में वो अभी प्रूफ ऑफ कंसेप्ट है. तो प्रूफ ऑफ कंसेप्ट, प्रोटोटाइप, प्रोडक्ट एंड लिबर्टी फाइनली ए प्रोडक्ट फॉर द कंज्यूमर. ये स्टेजेस होती हैं TRL के अंदर, टेक्निकल रेडनेस लेवल. Many times, as I rightly mentioned that most projects get abundant access for concept. तो किसी और को ले आना ना प्रोटोटाइप लेवल. I would strongly urge, please think about it. आप भेजिए उसको, हम टेक्निकल पे अपलोड कर देंगे आपके नाम के साथ, स्टूडेंट के नाम के साथ. जहाँ 2 लाख है वहाँ और डाल देंगे 1 लाख, क्या दिक्कत है? एंड देन इट विल बी पॉसिबल. अभी राठी साहब से बात हुई, जो एजुकेशन कमिश्नर हैं, वो बता रहे थे कि दे आर गोइंग टू स्टार्ट अ वेरी मैसिव इंडस्ट्रियल शोध यात्रा on which I have spent my lifetime. So idea is that some of you will go to the industries when you go and spot unmet need of the industry. फैकल्टी भी जाएंगे, स्टूडेंट भी जाएंगे, वहां से प्रॉब्लम लेकर आएंगे, फिर उस पर हम लोग रिसर्च करेंगे. वो भी अच्छा आइडिया है. बहुत सारे एरियाज में हमने जो एक्सपेरिमेंट किया था 2010-11 में, 9-10-11 में ब्रेन में वो यंग स्टूडेंट इन HCI मेरे साथ काम कर रहा था. तो उस समय हमने देखा कि कहीं कहीं जैसे कुछ बच्चे गए यूनिट में, वहाँ पुली रिवर यूज हो रहा था मशीन के लिए, वुड कटिंग मशीन थी. अब if there is a play in the pulley, there is a river, there is a loose belt pulley system, तो एनर्जी कंजम्पशन बढ़ जाएगा. तो स्टूडेंट ने कहा सर मैं इसको थोड़ा टाइट कर दूं, फिर आप देखिए मीटर में कितना कंज्यूम हो रहा है आपका 5 मिनट के अंदर. एंड ही showed the entrepreneur that by tightening the belt, efficiency went up. Small, very small input, but it changed the energy efficiency. So many of you, with your current level of learning, also may be able to solve some problem, but there are many problems that you may not be able to solve. Bring them here with the faculty and guidance, work on it, and then give it back to the industry. Say, look, we have developed a solution, try it out. So this is the program which is going to start very soon, next week. So thank you so much. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much, respected sir. You have given us a wide spectrum of ideas in which the students can work and resources. Now I request VG Patel sir to give a moment to Gupta sir.
आपको मुझे मेल भेजेंगे ना आपको प्रेशर बढ़ाना हो मुझे मेल भेजिएगा आई विल फॉरवर्ड टू
So with this, we are ending our session.